while you book your event. Start planning your company outing today at brewers.com/groups.
WTMJ's Eric Bilstead here for Tri-County Contracting. You want to know the price of a new roof on your home today? Well, it's easy. Just go to TriCountyContracting.com, click on the Instant Roof Quote button, put in your address and email, click the Show My Roof Price, and there you go. Zero wait time. There's your quote. You shop online for everything else. Who says you can't shop online for a new roof? Tri-County Contracting at WI.com. It's worry-free roofing, siding, and windows. Tri-County Contracting, WI.com.
Are you tired of being tired? Go to AdventKnows.com.
Breaking news as it happens. Stay up to date with your trusted and relevant source in news, sports, traffic, and weather. We are Wisconsin's radio station. News Radio 620, WTMJ, Milwaukee.
At 1 o'clock, it's 16 degrees in Milwaukee. Scattered snow showers today. When we're talking about the snow, it's less than an inch, though. Windy still, high of 24, but due to the wind, it's feeling colder yet. Still double digits for the temps, so much better than the last few days. Tonight, snow early, clearing late. We'll dip down to 13 tonight. Thursday, tomorrow, partly cloudy, high of 20. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, I'm Jessica Ty. Police are on the scene right now of a shooting at Antioch High School in Nashville, Tennessee. 2 students were shot by another student in the cafeteria. Police say the shooter then turned the weapon on him or herself. 2 students who evacuated the school say they're shocked.
We got to 5th period, and then all of a sudden we was hearing, oh, it's a shooting. And then everybody was just panicking and everything.
It's not known yet how badly the other students are hurt. The Justice Department is advising its workers to keep an eye out for local and state attempts to block the Trump administration's immigration enforcement efforts. ABC's Stephen Portnoy has the details from Washington.
The 3-page memo from a senior Justice Department official who previously served as a Trump defense lawyer directs U.S. attorneys to investigate and prosecute local and state officials who resist, obstruct, or otherwise fail to comply with federal immigration commands and requests. A number of senior career officials in the department have now been reassigned by the new leadership to a sanctuary cities enforcement task force. They've been told if they don't like it, they can leave.
The memo also indicates those opposing the Trump administration's immigration efforts could be challenged in court. The Trump administration is calling for the end of birthright citizenship and the deportation of all undocumented migrants as people here in Wisconsin asking questions. Director of the Les Aspin Center for Government, Dr. Paul Noet, tells WTMJ the National Guard could be used to find undocumented migrants here in our state.
If the feds actually are sent in, or there's a nationalized National Guard, then Tony Evers and other governors who want to push back on that, they're going to have a lot more limited options. Because if the federal government itself is enforcing Trump's executive orders or federal immigration law, then it wouldn't be constitutional for the states to stand in their way.
Nolet says the best way to understand how these raids would work is to keep an eye on raids in Chicago. Felony charges now filed in connection to a Christmas Day double homicide in Milwaukee.
19-year-old Quintaris Morris and 18-year-old Jeremiah Taylor each face 2 counts of first-degree reckless homicide for shooting 2 teenagers in a car near 37th and Scott on Milwaukee's southwest side. 15-year-old Exiel Rivera died at the scene, and 18-year-old Naya Vasquez died in the hospital. Morris has been arrested, but police are still searching for Taylor. You can see his photo on our website, WTMJ.com. Sean Brenda, WTMJ News.
A fight is brewing between the city and towns of Port Washington over a proposed $33 million AI data center.
At issue is an approved agreement that would allow the city to annex the site of the planned data center in the town, overtaking around 17% of its total land. Town residents voicing frustrations Tuesday night.
It's not what I signed up for. I'm out of here. Most of us are here tonight because we feel you're not listening to us.
Land in the town of Port Washington has been protected from annexation due to a 2004 border agreement that was expected to sunset at the end of this year. City and town leaders have both agreed to move that expiration date up to February 1st. Adam Roberts, WTMJ News.
Time for news about your money. Here's the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. Another good day in Wall Street. Everything is up. The Dow up 107 points to 44,133. S&P 500 is up nearly 43 points to 6,091. And the NASDAQ is up 262 points to 20,018. Financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth. Annex Private Client. Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com. Sports, traffic, and weather are next. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time is 104.
Feeling like winter inside your house? WTMJ's Vince Vitrano for USA Insulation. Many homes built before 1980 have little to no insulation. Anything you do, better than what you got, but you call USA and now you've got the best. Their foam injection method, 35% more efficient than your standard wall insulation. Most jobs done in as little as a day. Some homeowners qualify for thousands in rebates and discounts. Every USA customer begins saving money day one. USAinsulation.net.
USA Insulation.
For over a century, local broadcasting has evolved with the needs of the community. We move past the stigmas of opinion journalism and bring the most relevant news online, on air, and on the go. You have trusted us with your news, sports, weather, and entertainment. Trust us to keep moving with you. Text radio to 52886 and tell Congress local broadcasting is here to stay.
Hey, WTMJ's John Mercure here, asking you to join me in October as my wife and I explore the magical kingdoms of Southeast Asia, from the villages of Vietnam and the temples of Cambodia to the friendly locals of Laos and the beachside resort in stunning, lively Thailand. I hope you'll join us for this unforgettable journey. Ancient and mysterious worlds of rural landscapes, bustling cities, and fascinating history in Vietnam. Explore the Chu Chi tunnels used by the Viet Cong. Experience a street food adventure through Hanoi and cherish the serenity of Hai Long Bay on a beautiful boat ride. Bangkok in Thailand, the beaches in Thailand, history, tradition, food. If you'd like more information on this great trip, send me an email. john.mercure@wtmj.com. john.mercure@wtmj.com. It's Thailand, Vietnam, Cambodia, Laos. I'm super jazzed about this trip. Send me an email. I send you the info. john.mercure, MERCURE, @wtmj.com.
WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all sports desk. The Milwaukee Bucks get a snow day in New Orleans, of all places. Just announced, tonight's game against the Pelicans is postponed because of snowy conditions in the Big Easy. Another former Brewer is heading to Cooperstown. Pitcher CC Sabathia received 342 votes and is one of 3 members of the Baseball Hall of Fame's 2025 class. During his 3 months here in Milwaukee, Sabathia helped lead the team to the postseason in 2008, snapping a 25-year playoff drought for the Brewers. It was an easy win for Marquette men's basketball last night, 76-59 over Seton Hall. Next up, a home game against Villanova on Friday. And the 18th-ranked Wisconsin men took it down to the wire against UCLA, but came up just short to the Bruins, 85-83. The Badgers are off until a Sunday home game against Nebraska. Badger Sports Updates sponsored by Siding Unlimited. Siding and a whole lot more. Let's check out the roads with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons paving time saver traffic. We do have a handful of disabled vehicles out on the system. It's kind of that way. Still cold, and some of the cars just don't want to go. Or they want to go, and then they want to stop. And that's not good for you. We also have a crash that popped up about a half hour ago, 4394 North at the ramp from Holt Avenue. The left shoulder is blocked due to that crash. And I'm just taking a peek to see if any of these other ones that just popped up are anything more than disabled vehicles. But for the most part, it's looking like it's a disabled vehicle. We're also still dealing with one crash out in the West Dallas area, 41894 North at the ramp from Lincoln Avenue. Left lane is blocked due to a crash there. And a newer one, I-43 North, just a little bit beyond Layton. The right shoulder is blocked due to a crash there. So heads up, be careful. Here's your WTMJ 5-day forecast today. Scattered snow showers, less than an inch though, so we're not talking about a lot of snow, but be prepared for that. It's still windy out there, so we have a high of 24, but it feels cooler than that. Not as bad as the last few days though, and we'll take it. Tonight, snow early, clearing late, low of 13. Thursday, tomorrow, partly cloudy and a high of 20 degrees. Friday, mostly sunny, a high of 23. Saturday, mostly cloudy. We do have a chance for flurries on Saturday, a high of 36 though. How about that? On Sunday, mostly sunny and a high of 28 degrees. It is currently 16 degrees in Milwaukee and 19 degrees in Kenosha. Actually, it just went up to 21 degrees in Kenosha, and I wanted to make sure you knew that because it sounds nice and it feels better too. I'm Jessica Ty. Outdoor Living Unlimited. WTMJ News Time is 1:09.
65,498 square miles. We've got a lot to cover, so let's get to it. This is Spanning the State, and here are your hosts, Kristin, Brey, and Brian Noonan.
Good afternoon. Packed show today.
Jam-packed. We're going to talk about small businesses and the expense of health care on the owners of those small businesses. This is a very exciting discovery at UW-Madison. What did they find? Well, I'll just give you a hint. It's the oldest one in the Northern Hemisphere. So we'll talk about that. Then we'll spin the state after 2 o'clock. We'll come back. A big season kicks off today. Maybe you'll see a lot of young ladies out in front of your local grocery store. They don't really knock on the door anymore, but Girl Scout cookie season is here. So we'll talk to the leader of the Girl Scouts in Southeast Wisconsin. And then, I don't know if you know this, over the weekend, you may have heard of cryptocurrency. You may have heard of Bitcoin. Have you heard of meme coins? It's a little bit different, but Donald Trump and Melania Trump released some meme coins over the weekend. So we're going to talk to a Marquette professor to find out what exactly is a meme coin, how is it different from other cryptocurrency, and all of that. And then, oh my goodness, rats are getting high on their own supply.
Packed show.
It's a lot of show.
A lot of stuff going on. But first, I don't know. Are you of the age where Disney had a big influence on your childhood?
Yeah, I mean, I remember one of my favorite movies of all time was the original Jungle Book. I named my first dog Baloo. I have an animation cell of Baloo and Mowgli in the house, so yes.
Okay, so same. So I feel like I as a millennial, the golden era of Disney, of Little Mermaid, Lion King, Aladdin, Beauty and the Beast, just like hit after hit after hit. And I started, even before I started to age out of really loving Disney movies, because let's be honest, we all know that I also love musicals, so also love Disney movies.
Sure.
I used to love Hunchback of Notre Dame.
Really?
I still love it.
Okay.
But it's, what's funny is like that's a pretty dark story that they made into a Disney movie. But that was the first time I ever learned what sanctuary means, right? Because obviously Esmeralda, who's the main beautiful gypsy in the main character, she has the God help the outcasts, and she's in the church and trying to protect herself from being arrested. But then also the famous scene at the end when they're going to burn her alive, and Quasimodo saves her, and he yells at the church to open up and yells sanctuary. And like that was the first time I ever realized that historically churches are supposed to provide just that. They're supposed to be a safe place. And that dates back to the medieval times as far as fugitives. Even before that, I was reading even in like Greek and Roman temples, fugitives could find sanctuary in churches. Except now. And because yesterday, the Trump administration announced that immigration authorities will now be able to make arrests at schools and churches and healthcare facilities. And you got a pretty alarming email yesterday about it, right?
So I'm still on, for some reason, I'm still on the school district mailing list. My email account for when I was teaching is still active, and the district sent out a notification yesterday because the district I was in is very Hispanic. There's a lot of I don't know. I don't know anybody's status because the school doesn't ask their status, because federal law says that any child in the United States is guaranteed a free public education no matter their status or their family status. So the school doesn't ask. Well, now obviously there's a lot of worry in the community. The district said it. I'll just a couple of little quotes. I already talked to you about the federal law. The district said that families should feel confident that their personal information is protected. We are aware that impending changes to national immigration policies create uncertainty and concern for families in our community. In light of concerns regarding the rights and protections of immigrant students, we want to reaffirm our commitment to holding these rights. So the district, per federal law, won't collect or report information about the immigration status of students or their families. The staff's never going to share student records without a court order. DHS has designated schools as legally protected areas, and immigration enforcement officers are required to have a warrant signed by a judge in order to access the school district building. So the school board put out a resolution, and the bottom line is, it is resolved that the Board of Education is committed to the safety and well-being of students and staff and prohibits unlawful discrimination and harassment. And I'm going to preface this by saying I am not oblivious to the fact that something needs to be done with our immigration policy at the border. I agree with that 100%. And I agree, if you are an undocumented person in this country and you commit violent crimes, you should be sent away toot sweet. But the answer to this problem is not in a third grade classroom. The answer to this problem is not in a church pew. The answer to this problem is very complex. I thought we were close to it in the fall when there was the bipartisan bill. That got torpedoed. It's not coming back, maybe, but that might be one of the answers. So my question, I guess, today that I was all concerned about is, where's the priority and what's the next step?
And I think that's the same thing. Is the priority getting everyone who is not here legally out? Is it to stop people from coming in without going through the proper channels? Is it all of it at the same time? But that seems such a Herculean task.
That seems almost
that
impossible.
It seems like there should be a plan as far as the priority is. Yeah. And I mean, apparently there is a plan. If you take the border czar Tom Homan at his word, he said to him, he said, we're not going to categorize them as raids. They're going to be targeted enforcement operations. When U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement goes out, they're going to know exactly who they're looking for, pretty much where they'll find them. It's a well-planned operation. So I guess my question, coming back to the overturning of these sensitive places, the churches, schools, is it that they think that these targeted enforcement operations, that people are going to be hiding there?
I don't know, but if that statement is true, and it's going to be on par with a U.S. Marshal fugitive task force thing, because that's kind of sounds like what these initial things are going to be. We know the people we're after. We know where they're at. We're going to get them. Okay, I think most of us can agree that that's a pretty good idea. But going back to the question of what to do first, if you have, I don't know, if your basement is leaking, the first thing you do isn't make sure that all the water's out of your basement. The first thing you do is fix the leak. So to me, the priority would be, all right, whatever measures we have to put in place, the border should be the first priority. Because once you stop people coming over illegally, then you can focus on, okay, let's work on the people who are here. And there are people who've been here a long time that are really contributing to society. All right, we're going to leave them for they're the bottom of our list, because they're, other than the way they got in, they're doing the right thing. Yeah. They're working, they're paying taxes, everything's good.
I guess let's take a break really quickly, but I guess for anyone who's listening, what would you do? What would you do if you were sitting at church and there was an ICE raid?
Yeah.
Or if your kids witnessed one of their classmates get taken from their school? Is that what we're talking about right now? And I guess, are you okay with that? 855-616-1620. We'll have more after this.
Tony Drake here from Drake & Associates. Big news. Our Retirement Ready radio show is moving to a new time slot. Catch us at noon every Saturday. At Drake & Associates, we craft tailor-made plans that not only meet your financial needs, but align seamlessly with your unique lifestyle. Tune in at noon on Saturdays and get retirement ready.
Drake & Associates, LLC is an independent investment advisory firm that offers a variety of different investment vehicles. This commercial is provided for informational purposes only and should not be construed as individual investment advice. Drake & Associates, LLC does not provide legal or tax advice.
This is Matt Meitner, owner of Sit Means Sit Dog Training. Do you find yourself talking to your dog but feel like she's not listening to you?
Bella, sit!
Are you constantly repeating yourself but she's not following your directions?
Sit! Sit!
Frustrating, isn't it? At Sit Means Sit Dog Training, we want to help you have a happy, confident, and obedient dog, and we also want to make the training process an enjoyable and worthwhile experience. Contact Sit Means Sit today to schedule a free consultation so we can create a customized training program so you are able to have the dog you want and deserve.
Sit Means Sit Dog Training. Sorry, we don't train husbands, wives, or kids.
As winter takes a deep freeze, it's not too late for you to get hot, hot, hot. Fox World Travel has your ticket to paradise with deals you won't find anywhere else. Save on last-minute all-inclusive vacations with Apple Vacations or get up to 67% off public cruise rates with Royal Caribbean and Celebrity Cruises. Is Europe on your mind? Ask about Fox Group Vacations. Book now and save only at Fox World Travel. Book online or call 866-GO-FOX-GO and mention code RADIO.
WTMJ's Vince Vitrano talking with Dr. Mike Nolte at Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. Doc, a lot of people are hesitant to visit a surgeon for spine care.
The good news is that the vast majority of patients that I see and the majority of conditions that I can see can be successfully treated without surgery. And I don't want patients to think that just because you're seeing a spine surgeon means that you're going to be signing up for surgery. We talk about, in my clinic, kind of a plan A, a plan B, and a plan C.
Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin, there is a difference. orthowisconsin.com.
Let me in, immigration man. Can I cross the line and break?
It is Spanning the State. I'm Brian Noonan.
And I am Kristin Brey, and we were starting with the reaction to yesterday, the Trump administration announcing that the immigration authorities are now going to be able to make arrests in schools and churches and healthcare facilities, and just kind of shifting to the logistics of how this is going to work. Because I didn't realize, I was listening to Steve's show this morning, and he had Annie Schwartz on, that in Wisconsin, ICE only has one listed detention facility, the Dodge County Jail. And the quote from Dodge County Sheriff Dale Schmidt said, "My jail cannot hold more than what we already hold each day. So the upcoming detention of individuals who are in our country illegally will only be able to come here as space becomes available. There will be no larger numbers for us. It will be business as usual."
Okay.
And so I know that there's shifting conversations around Milwaukee, like ICE detention centers in Milwaukee, but as far as week one, first 100 days, there still just seems logistically in Wisconsin a lot of things that are going to keep that from happening.
Part of this, I think, is messaging too. If you read a statement before that these we've been saying raids, a lot of people saying raids, they're using a different terminology.
Targeted enforcement operations. That's from Tom Homan.
See, a targeted enforcement operation
sounds different than a raid.
It does. And I don't mind if, again, I'm going to equate it to the U.S. Marshal Service going after fugitives. If you know that this person who is high on your list because they've committed some atrocity here is going to the doctor that day, I don't mind if they go in and get that person.
Okay.
But if they go into a doctor's office on just to see who's there, and anybody who fits the description gets caught up in it, that's where I have a problem. So I think it's incumbent upon the administration to make the messaging clearer so it doesn't sound so all-encompassing.
Yeah, because raid sounds like, oh, we're just going to show up and start grabbing people.
Yeah. Yeah,
which sounds terrifying. Like, and granted, like I'm a squish, and so people probably have picked up. If they listen to this show, they already know that about me. But just to have, it sounds like something that you would witness in a movie, as far as someone like a SWAT team running into your church and starting to grab people.
Yeah, just willy nilly. If they're going after that one person, I don't care where you grab that violent criminal, but then the all the information coming out yesterday was that a lot of the people on this list for the targeted arrests are already in custody. Okay, so get those people out, and then if you know these other violent people are there, I have no problem with you going anywhere to get those people. If somebody has murdered a couple people and they're one person, I draw the line. Under 3, Kristin, you let it go. No, all right, so you've committed murder, you're an illegal immigrant, ICE knows where you are. I don't care where you are, they can come and get you.
Okay.
If I'm just a person of color who you don't know my status, and you just come into a church and start grabbing up everybody, that's where the problem lies. Because that's not how it's supposed to work. until phase 2, which I still think phase 1 is the border. Phase 1A is this targeted law enforcement grabbing up the violent criminals.
Okay.
And then phase 2 is, all right, we're working hard to get the violent criminals out. We're working hard to secure the border to keep more people from coming in the way, illegally. Now let's turn our attention to the people who, yes, they're undocumented, but they're contributing.
Mm-hmm.
So put those people on the back burner because they're not causing any trouble.
Do you think that's the plan? I don't feel like that's the plan.
I don't think it is, but I think rationally, to me, it sounds like a plan that addresses all the issues that everybody has with the border crisis. It addresses in a more focused way what I think the administration's plan is, and it's more humane. And in the end, we still have to be humane to people who got here, and once they got here, they've worked for what we're all working for. They're working for the same thing. And maybe there's pathways that once, if you've been here a while, you have a family here, your kids were raised here, you've had a job, you've paid your taxes, you're a good neighbor. Let's figure out some pathways to get those people's paperwork through. But other than that, I don't care if they're illegal criminals or legal criminals.
Citizens who are also criminals.
Go get them wherever they are. Those people, I have no sympathy for them. So let's get them.
All right, let's take a short break, and we'll have more on Spanning the State.
Catch up on Wisconsin's midday news with Greg Matzik and Jessica Ty.
It's not the extension of pumpkin spice season. No, it is not a maple cold foam cold brew with artichoke.
In the mornings, Greg will typically drink an iced coffee, a cold coffee. Gina does hot coffee, and then I do tea.
By listening to the Wisconsin's Midday News Podcast.
Darkness Retreat isn't for me. Ayahuasca's probably not for me.
Sponsored by Siding Unlimited.
Visit family-owned Ken Michaels Furniture and our in-store design centers where you'll still find beautiful, luxurious, heirloom-quality American-made furniture. Right now, save 30 to 35% store-wide and take advantage of our complimentary design services. Whether you're moving, renovating, or updating, our designers will help your vision become a reality. Visit Ken Michaels Furniture in Brookfield on Capitol Drive and in Greenfield on Highway 100 to save 30 to 35% store-wide today. Sleep better and save more with mattresses from Milwaukee Mattress and Ken Michaels Furniture. Handcrafted in our Milwaukee factory, our mattresses utilize natural materials like cotton cushioning, which dissipates body heat, Joma wool quilts for warm wintry nights and cool summer evenings, and natural latex providing superior conformability and pressure relief for aching joints. Stop in today at any Ken Michaels Furniture store and save up to 50% compared to national brands.
In 1964, we were making strides towards space travel.
Mary Poppins was the #1 movie in theaters.
And the Beatles were taking America by storm.
Which was long before I was born.
Facts. 1964 is also the year it all started for Richland's Tire and Service Centers. 60 years of continuous growth and more happy customers than you can shake a stick at.
Okay, the streamers are a bit overkill. It's just us in the studio.
Well, all right. But it's important to know accomplishments like these aren't possible without a dedicated team. So hats off to them and our founder, my dad, Dick Mitchke, for understanding the importance of customer focus.
Facts. There's no 60 years of anything without you, the customer, which is why our focus will remain on you and only you for years to come.
Thank you from all of us here at Richland's Tire and Service Centers.
Richland's Tire and Service, such a refreshing change. Richland's.
This is Jeff Johnson.
And I'm Jason Johnson.
And together, we're part of Johnson & Sons Paving.
Get your parking lot ready now for spring and avoid paying for extra repairs later on.
We'll come out to your property and walk it with you.
Potholes, damaged asphalt, damaged concrete, standing water, you name it. We'll talk to you about your options and fix it.
Plan a budget, set up an overall schedule with Johnson & Sons Paving.
It's all about doing it right the first time. Call us today to schedule a walkthrough and free estimate.
JohnsonandSonsPaving.com.
spanning the state. I'm Brey Noonan.
I'm Kristin Brey. And someone on the text, I'm just going to address it because someone on the text line said no sympathy for illegal aliens. And I just...
None. Wow, okay.
I think...
I wonder
if you don't know anyone who's gone through this, like I think about... I'm going to have to go because we're going to have bottom of the hour news quickly. But we have a family friend who she came here illegally. She's now a citizen.
Okay.
Like she went through all the work and now she knocks doors to go get people to vote. Like she is an active member of her community. And I just think about the fact that she came here with her small child and worked her butt off. And and then her sister came and like there's just like they've contributed and they worked so hard and all they wanted was a better life.
Mm-hmm.
And so to have no sympathy for them is just a really harsh line.
And be careful when you throw out no sympathy. You don't know who your neighbor is.
ABC News, I'm Chuck Sievertson. A shooting by a 17-year-old boy in the school cafeteria today at Nashville's Antioch High School. Police spokesman Don Aaron.
The individual wounded 2 other students, one of them fatally, before shooting and killing himself.
No word why it happened. President Trump meeting with Republican lawmakers today. Earlier, House Speaker Mike Johnson standing by Mr. Trump's pardoning 1,500 January 6th rioters.
It's kind of my ethos, my worldview. We believe in redemption. We believe in second chances. If you would argue that those people didn't pay a heavy penalty, having been incarcerated and all of that's up to you. But the president's made a decision. We move forward.
House Speaker Johnson criticizing President Biden pardoning family members, calling it shocking. A new Republican committee will investigate the investigation of January 6th. The Pentagon is preparing to send up to 1,500 more troops to the border. This is ABC News.
Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time is 1:31. I'm Jessica Ty. Governor Tony Evers will lay out his plan for Wisconsin during the annual State of the State tonight. His priorities for the next year include lowering costs for working families, reducing crime and preventing gun violence, and investing in the health and well-being of our kids while improving classroom outcomes at school. The governor's speech from Madison starts at 7. The young man accused of setting fire at a Congressman Glenn Grothman's district office in Fond du Lac is now charged. 19-year-old Caden Stankiewicz from Menasha was in court this morning. He faces 3 felony charges, including arson, making a terrorist threat, and attempted burglary, along with misdemeanor criminal damage to property. Police say he admitted to setting the fire in response to the TikTok ban. In 2022, Grothman joined other Republican lawmakers in urging Governor Tony Evers to ban the app on government devices here in Wisconsin. Grothman says the defendant had no prior contact with his office. And a former teacher arrested for child enticement. 36-year-old Daniel Rick from Jackson was arrested Friday on allegations of inappropriate behavior with a student. Rick used to be a teacher at Christ Alone Lutheran in Thiensville. He now faces 2 felony charges of child enticement and exposing his genitals to a child. Cash bond is set at $100,000. Time for news about your money. Here's a WTMJ Annex Wealth Management market update, and we are still doing good on Wall Street. Another good day. The Dow is up 115 points to 44,140. S&P 500 is up nearly 41 points to 6,089. And the NASDAQ is up almost 250 points to 20,006. Financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth. Annex Private Client. Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com. Taking a look at the roads now with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons paving time saver traffic. Just disabled vehicle after disabled vehicle. There's another broken down car, another broken down car. These cars, they just don't want to go when the weather is this cold. So don't be surprised if you see a disabled vehicle wherever you're going right now, because we have about a dozen out of the system. A couple crashes as well. That one's another disabled vehicle. Let's take a peek here. Disabled vehicle, disabled vehicle. Okay, 4394 north, beyond the ramp from Holt Avenue. We still are dealing with that one. Left shoulder is blocked due to a crash. Out in the Brookfield area, I-94 west at the ramp from Moreland Boulevard, the left lane is blocked due to a crash that just happened 2 minutes ago. So that's a new one for you there. And also we have a crash on the ramp from County T to I-94 west. That's out in the Pewaukee area. And that one just popped up recently too. Here's your 5-day forecast today. Scattered snow, less than an inch though. We're not talking about a lot of snow. It's still windy out there, and that is going to impact how it feels outside. We have a high of 24, but it feels colder than that yet. Still a lot better than the last few days. Tonight, snow early, clearing late. We have a low of 13. Thursday, partly cloudy, high of 20. Friday, mostly sunny, high of 23. And then on Saturday, we're getting close to 40, high of 36, mostly cloudy. Sunday, mostly sunny, and a high of 28. We're taking every degree we can get right now in Sheboygan. It is currently 19 degrees, Kenosha 21, and Milwaukee 18. I'm Jessica Ty. Outdoor Living Unlimited. WTMJ News Time is 1:34.
Hey, this is WTMJ's Steve Scafidi for Heiser Automotive. I love talking about Heiser. Just picked up a 2023 pre-owned with very low mileage Chevy Silverado 1500 LT, beautiful glacier blue. Love it. Looks fantastic. It's got a black cloth interior. Every time I get in this truck, I say, that is amazing. 8-speed automatic transmission. Awesome mileage MPG for a truck. 24 city. Get this, 29 highway. Towing capacity. Payload is big. All the things you love about Heiser. Here's what I love about Heiser. All the great programs. Whether you're talking a pre-owned or new. Safe and sound program, right? Vehicle exchange program, right? Love it or exchange it. Valid on new or pre-owned vehicles, which is what I was talking about. Purchase or lease for the comfort of your own home. Roadside assistance for life. All the things you love about Heiser is all the reasons why they say every day and why I always tell people at Heiser Automotive, today's your day.
Our favorite reason to choose Diamonds Direct over any other jeweler? Free service for life with no fine print. That's right. When you buy your engagement ring or any piece of jewelry at Diamonds Direct, you will never have to pay a dime in the future for sizing, cleaning, or routine maintenance. At Diamonds Direct, there's no gotcha clause, no fine print, no looking for ways to void the warranty. Diamonds Direct, the jeweler you can trust with a no questions asked 100% free lifetime warranty with no strings attached. Come see us to learn more.
Reason number 52 to choose Diamonds Direct over any other jeweler. Only Diamonds Direct gives you a 110% diamond upgrade guarantee. Diamonds Direct will give you 110% of your original purchase price toward the new stone. That's 10% more than you paid the first time. Guaranteed appreciation. Who else does this? There's no fine print and no minimum purchase requirement. It's 10% more, period. Buy with confidence. Diamonds Direct. Your love, our passion.
It's Spanning the State. I'm Brian Noonan.
And I am Kristin Brey. And did you know that small businesses employ nearly half of American workers?
I didn't know the exact, but that makes sense.
So one expense that it takes its toll on business owners and their employees is, not surprisingly, healthcare.
Yes.
And that price is only going up. Employers expect health benefit costs to increase nearly 6% per employee in 2025, according to the consulting firm Mercer. So what are the options out there, at least in Wisconsin, for health insurance coverage not to be such a major obstacle and burden for small businesses? Here to discuss is TJ Samanchian, who is the CEO and owner of Wonder State Coffee, a small business here in Wisconsin, and Sean Fettaplace, National Campaigns Director for Main Street Alliance, which represents more than 2,000 small businesses and owners across the Badger State. Welcome to the show, guys.
Thanks for having us on.
So, Sean, I guess, or either of you, but when we talk about small businesses, what is the working definition of that? What makes something a small business versus crossing the Rubicon into being a bigger business?
Yeah, so I would say that the legal definition is 500 employees or higher is when you're no longer a small business, according to the Small Business Administration. However, our members, about half of the members that we represent are sole proprietors. And the highest end of our membership is about 150 staff in the state. And so, for us, it's partially about size, but also partially about values and what folks are prioritizing. But that's the legal definition of what makes a small business.
Okay, got it.
So, Sean, as you're traveling around the state and you're talking to small business owners, how often is the cost of their employees' health care top of mind?
It is literally the first thing that anybody mentions. Healthcare continues to be a real challenge for both the employers, but also the staff. I'm actually here in Madison. The State of the State is tonight, and so getting ready for that. And I'm next to one of TJ's cafes here, Wonder State Coffee. And TJ's worked really hard to provide health insurance, but I know that it is both very expensive, but it can also be complicated when you have, a certain amount of people are still in the family's plan. They maybe get it through a spouse, so providing group coverage can be really tough. And so making sure that people have better options and lower cost options is extremely important and a top priority for our members.
So TJ, as running a business, what has the experience been like, not only to get health insurance for yourself, but then also to try to provide it for your full-time employees?
Yeah, it's been a journey, and every year it feels like a whole new challenge to try and renew our plans and at a minimum keep providing the same amount of coverage for our staff without passing much of the cost on to them. But every year that's a challenge. And, we started the company in 2005. I moved here from the Twin Cities down to a small town here in southwest Wisconsin in Viroqua. And, we started the company with savings. It was bootstrapped. And when we came to Wisconsin, my wife and my wife was pregnant at the time, and we qualified for Badger Care. So I really looked back at, the beginnings of our business, and we were able to have, kind of some state subsidized healthcare, and it really helped us start our business. There's no doubt that, as having our first child and the costs associated with that, and trying to start a business and fund it, we used all of our life savings to start a coffee company. And there's no way we would have been able to afford, healthcare and the birth when we moved to Wisconsin.
Well, that's what I wanted to ask you, TJ, not just for yourself, but you've talked to other small business owners. Had you had that burden of health insurance for your employees when you were, using up your savings to get started, would that have been the impediment? And, so Wonder State wouldn't have opened at that point?
Yeah, it's hard to say. I mean, certainly would have been a much bigger challenge. There's no doubt. I've heard of folks who, do not leave their day jobs and who feel it's too big a risk not because of the investment of starting a company, but because of the risk of losing healthcare. So yeah, I think if both the cost and or the risk of losing your current coverage is a huge impediment from, folks who would be budding entrepreneurs to start businesses.
Sean, logistically, what is it as far as negotiations go, why it's more expensive for small businesses, or the small businesses end up paying more for health insurance than big businesses do?
Because big businesses have scale. If you have a lot of customers at that business, then that's a lot more profit for the insurance companies. And so they're much more willing to negotiate with those companies to be able to provide coverage, whereas small businesses, don't really have that option. And so that's why it's so important that we have affordable marketplace insurance. The Inflation Reduction Act and the American Rescue Plan during COVID helped to really make marketplace insurance more affordable, but it's still too expensive. And so for a lot of folks who are just getting started, it is absolutely essential that we have better options for them, which includes taking the Badger Care expansion. There are 90,000 people who would get either better quality coverage or coverage for the first time in our state if we did take it. And, frankly, because the intransigence of Speaker Robin Vos and the folks in the Assembly and Senate, we haven't been able to get it done. Thankfully, we have a new legislature that is a much more balanced legislature, so we're hopeful, but it's going to take a lot to finally get that done and make health insurance more affordable for entrepreneurs like TJ and other folks across the state.
Sean, is there a backup plan with other solutions in case the legislature does not expand Badger Care?
Not really. I mean, I would say at the federal level, you have trifecta with President Trump and that Congress. If anything, they're going to cut some of these programs and make marketplace insurance less affordable potentially. And to be very honest with you, there's really no reason why we haven't taken the expansion. It's more of a political decision that's been taken by the speaker and frankly, it's been shown to fail. I would encourage everyone who's listening to this to look up the Wisconsin Policy Forum. They have a report that came out recently about a picture of health, which shows that we've spent $2.4 billion over the last 10 years to have worse coverage because we're picking up more of the tab due to the fact that we haven't taken the expansion. So I would just say it's still going to be a tough fight, but ultimately we have fair maps now, and it's going to be a lot easier to hold folks accountable to listen to the voters. And the overwhelming majority, over 70% of people in our state, have said that they support expanding Badger Care. We're one of 10 states left that hasn't done it, and the only in the Midwest. And so I would say we're going to continue to fight for better coverage regardless, but one of the quickest, easiest ways we can increase quality and lower costs is to take the expansion.
And what do you say to people who don't think that there should be more people on state-run health insurance?
Over half of folks who receive health insurance are already through government programs, whether it's the VA, whether it's Medicare, whether it's Medicaid. And frankly, I know Speaker Voss has talked a lot about the people can just go in the marketplace. The marketplace is still tax credits that are paid for by all of us. And so, it's making this argument that it's somehow, people receiving tax credits that pay down their private health insurance costs is somehow more of a government overreach than a program that was passed under Tommy Thompson, has enjoyed broad bipartisan support until about 10 years ago. I think it's just a real misnomer. And I think that ultimately it would really, we just need to break the logjam on this issue. And that's why we're going to talk about and make sure that people know this is a small business and entrepreneurship issue. 20 million people have started small businesses in the last 4 years across the country, including tens of thousands across Wisconsin, and we need to make sure they have access to good coverage.
Sean, is there any data or any numbers on how the high cost of healthcare for small businesses, how many of these businesses are forced to close for that reason alone?
Well, I can tell you there's actually a business owner in Viroqua where TJ is based that his name's Matt, and he opened a bakery there. And because of the high cost of health insurance and his lack of access, due to the fact that the state had not taken the expansion, he actually had to close his doors and go do something else. And so there are, thousands of folks all across the state, and I would encourage folks to check out, again, that Wisconsin Policy Forum report, A Picture of Health, that really lays this out. Because it is ultimately an impediment. And there are a lot of people who they stay in a 9-to-5. They have a spouse that stays that could otherwise be working in the business. You have folks working for larger corporations. And this is a competition issue, too. If you're a small business, you can't attract the same level of talent because you can't provide that coverage. Mm-hmm. And so it's a really important issue when it comes to making sure we have, a fair marketplace for top talent.
All right, well, we'll be on the lookout for the State of the State tonight to see what Governor Evers has to say about it. But Sean Fediplace and TJ Manchin, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
All right.
Have a good day.
Have a great day. Outdoor Living Unlimited News Time, 1:47 on Spanning the State.
I know you have a great dog, right? But you know there's room for improvement. At Sit Means Sit Dog Training, we can help. Our attention-based training system uses modern technology to help you better communicate with your dog, even in high distraction. When you schedule a free consultation with us, you will have the opportunity to see our training in action and meet for yourself our happy dogs off leash and under control. Contact Sit Means Sit today at 262-361-3641 or find us on the web at sitmeansitwaukesha.com to schedule your free consultation so you can have a happy, confident, and obedient dog.
Hey, it's WTMJ's Kristin Brey, and if you're looking for a new dentist, you should check out Dr. James Michaels at Economowoc Dental Care. Dr. Michaels is committed to providing you with the highest level of care possible. He has prioritized patients' needs no matter how sensitive since he began practicing in 1985. If you're due for a dental visit, Economowoc Dental has an $89 new patient special, so you can get the care that you need at an affordable price. In addition to an exam, you'll receive a gentle professional cleaning that will leave your mouth feeling smooth and rejuvenated. Check out Economowoc Dental Care at drmichaelsdentalcare.com or give them a call at 262-567-7224. Start 2025 on a good note by feeling confident about your smile and go see my new dentist, Dr. James Michaels at Economowoc Dental Care.
My friends swim no matter the season, but my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis can sometimes take me out of the moment. Now, thanks to Skyrizi and clear skin, count me in. With Skyrizi, Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy. 3 out of 4 people achieve 90% clear skin at 4 months.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check for infection and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms such as fever, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, or if you plan to or recently received a vaccine.
Thanks to Skyrizi, there's nothing on my skin, and that means everything. Ask your doctor today about Skyrizi, the #1 dermatologist-prescribed biologic in psoriasis, and visit skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKYRIZI to learn more.
Ready to tackle your home improvement project this winter? Exterior Pros and Baths is here to help you score big with quality home exterior and shower upgrades. As a 5-time President's Club Award winner, Exterior Pros is not playing around. With flexible financing, it's never been easier to invest in your home without breaking the bank. Get started today and save $2,000. Visit extpros.com or call 262-800-4274. That's 262-800-4274. Trust the pros and kick off your home transformation today.
It's Spanning the State. I'm Brian Noonan.
I'm Kristin. Brey, were you ever really into dinosaurs? I feel like that's such like a little kid thing to like love dinosaurs.
It is definitely a little kid thing. I've
Land Before
seen it.
Time.
Yeah, I was more of an astronaut guy when I was a kid. Outer
okay.
space and rocket ships and stuff. Dinosaurs. There was when you're studying them in school, in grade school, it's really cool. Triceratops and T-Rex and all that stuff. But yeah, there's some kids who are obsessed.
Well, and I think it's like obviously some who become paleontologists never become not obsessed.
Exactly.
And so that's why I'm thinking of this story. And it's just one of those things as far as for all of us who are very invested in our jobs and when big things happen, we're like, this is a massive deal.
Yeah.
And to a lot of people who are not invested in that or don't even know kind of what's going on in that world, just passes them by.
Yeah.
But there is a UW-Madison paleontologist who, like, this seems like a really big deal, this story. So back in the summer of 2013, paleontologist Dave Lovelace took some University of Wisconsin-Madison students on a dig in Wyoming.
Okay.
And there, they found an ankle bone in an area where fossils are typically not found.
All right.
So I don't know why they were digging in. You'd think that you'd dig in places that fossils are usually found, but I digress.
Not David.
So then now, more than a decade later, there's been analysis of the fossil, and it's basically the size of a human pinky finger. So it's small. So it's something that I feel like you could come across and be like, I don't know, is this even...
Right.
How would you even know that that's something that small? Is like, oh, that's definitely a dinosaur bone.
Oh, my gosh.
But it's now being hailed as a monumental discovery because it turns out that it is potentially now the oldest dinosaur bone found in the northern hemisphere. Because up until now, they thought dinosaurs originated in the southern hemisphere.
Yeah, I never thought of dinosaurs up here roaming the lands.
I was under the impression that was when all of the continents were like basically what is it called when they're Pangea?
Yeah, joined together.
When they're all the continents fit together better. And so now the research contends that dinosaurs inhabited northern hemisphere millions of years earlier than they thought. And around the same time as they were in the southern hemisphere. So this feels like if you are into dinosaurs and paleontology, Wisconsin, University of Wisconsin, making big news.
Very
but for
nice.
a lot of us, it probably just rolled on by.
Well, first of all, congratulations to them. But secondly, the patience it would take. Because you've seen a film of digs and stuff, and they're going through with like a tiny little
It's like the opening
toothbrush.
scenes of Jurassic Park when they're out
just
there,
digging
they're just brushing little bones off.
And how does this tiny bone? Like you said, I'd go, oh, there's nothing. And now it's the biggest thing in.
You just think it's a chicken bone.
Yeah,
someone throwing the chicken wings over the side of the fence,
out of the car as they drove through the Badlands of Wyoming, just tossing them out.
So very cool. Congratulations to that team. But that caught my eye as far as one. Good for the paleontology and geography program at UW-Madison, but also just very big dinosaur news that maybe unless you're a 4-year-old, you don't
Right
think
now, every little kid who listens to us, and we're huge at preschool nap time, every little kid is like, did you hear that?
Dinosaurs. All right, we'll be back right after this.
Steve Scafidi is your guide through the world of politics.
I think that the risk here is we have certainly created this environment where the president is more like a dictator than a duly elected representative of the people. I think that's my fear, regardless if it's Trump or anyone else doing it. I'm not a fan of what Biden did either. I think that was disgraceful at the end.
On the Political Power Hour.
This dictator stuff is evident in the executive order he did on TikTok.
Weekday mornings from 9 to 10 on WTMJ.
Is outdoor living limited at your place? Well, imagine a deck, a patio, pergola, fire pit, maybe even an outdoor kitchen in your yard. Outdoor Living Unlimited is a local, family-owned company that consults, designs, and builds these things. They're the best. Let them make Outdoor Living Unlimited in your yard like they did in ours. We are Wisconsin. We live outdoors as much as possible. Make the most of it with help from Outdoor Living Unlimited. See OutdoorLivingUnlimited.com.
Get the beat of the Bucks straight from a fan favorite and Bucks legend.
Welcome to the fantastic voyage. Marcus Johnson, the captain of this vessel.
Tap into Here District with Marcus Johnson, a Bucks Plus audio production.
My first mate, Chris Johnson, the only father and son tandem.
Your weekly pulse on the Milwaukee Bucks and conversations with the biggest names in basketball. This week on the pod, it's Mr. Fear the Deer himself. Brandon Jennings joins Marcus and Chris. Find Here District now on Bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, or wherever you get your podcast.
When you're due for tire service, visit richlawns.com for the location nearest you.
We'll give you free flat tire repair on every tire we install. No questions asked. I'm Brett Matchke with Rich Lawns. You're due for service.
Rich Lawns.
AccuNet Mortgage is an equal housing lender. NMLS ID 255368.
This is Chief Market Watcher Brian Wickert. Well, a lot of folks have buying a home on their New Year's resolution list, and while national news headlines talk about the inventory of homes for sale being a lot higher this year, I'm afraid that's just not the case in most of Wisconsin. So how do you make your offer stand out from the others so that someone else doesn't end up sleeping in your dream home? Well, it takes a team of a good real estate agent and a mortgage lender who has all the tools and techniques to help make your offer as attractive as possible in the eyes of that seller. Sure, you can go with a flimsy, unimaginative bank pre-approval, or you can present your offer with an AccuNet, rock-solid, fully verified, and guaranteed pre-approval that might also come with the phrase that really makes sellers happy: no appraisal required. We'll also help you understand exactly what it means in dollars and cents if you do decide to offer over asking or give that seller some appraisal wiggle room. All you have to do to get started with your rock-solid guaranteed pre-approval is click on the blue button at AccuNet.com. That's ACCUNET.com.
Siding Unlimited, named the best window installers, not just here, but in the whole USA. Get the best. Siding Unlimited, 4-time winner as America's best window installer. For windows, you call Siding Unlimited first and directly. SidingUnlimited.com.
Yeah. Little Floyd to get you through the day. We're giving away 2 tickets to see the legendary music of Pink Floyd live in concert with Milwaukee Symphony Orchestra. That's right. They're coming to the Riverside Theater February 7th. Tickets are on sale now at papstheatergroup.com. The legendary music of Pink Floyd as you've never heard it before, in concert with the Milwaukee Symphony Orchestra and a full rock band. You want to go? Sure you do. Be caller 4-855-616-1620. Caller 4-855-616-1620. You're going to the dark side of the moon with Pink Floyd, the Milwaukee Symphony Orchestra, and a rock band. I think that's it. Is that it? Yes. All right, we're going to go. News is next.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
Milwaukee Symphony Orchestra concertmaster Jinwoo Lee is the soloist in the tuneful and romantic violin concerto by Jean Sibelius, January 24th and 25th at the Bradley Symphony Center. Music director Ken David Mazur will lead the MSO in this program, which also features the tone poem Pan and Syrinx by Danish composer Carl Nielsen, as well as this searingly beautiful musical elegy Within Her Arms by British contemporary composer Anna Klein. Tchaikovsky's dazzling Romeo and Juliet rounds out this lush and dreamy program. Visit MSO.org for tickets and more information, or call the box office now at 414-291-7605. The number again for tickets is 414-291-7605.
Many times, patients have symptoms they didn't know were actually related to their airway breathing issues.
I was suffering from sinus issues, jaw issues, and neck pain. I guess I just kind of had my breaking point.
Unfortunately, this is typical. But until you get to the root of your problem, it's going to just persist. Fortunately, Jody took action, and the results were typical as well.
My quality of life is so different, but one of the first things that I noticed was my breathing. I don't ever remember being able to breathe like that.
Being able to breathe freely is life-changing, and the effects can go beyond that.
Sleeping better, having more energy, and it seemed as if all of those symptoms that I had just melted away.
And thank heavens for that, because at Advent, results are what drive us, helping you breathe well so you can live better.
Results may vary. Most insurance accepted.
This change has leveled us up while being able to maintain the same quality of service that we've always provided, with no upfront fees and 1.9% real estate commission. We're proud to be part of the Century 21 family, so you can move fearlessly with the added confidence of top-of-the-line marketing for maximum home exposure. And that means more eyeballs and the real potential for the highest price for your home. This is Angela Calais with Century 21 Benefit Realty, benefit-realty.com, where you pay less for full service. Each office is independently owned and operated. With the ability to market luxury homes on a higher scale than ever before, Century 21 Benefit Realty has taken a huge step forward to tap into a global network of buyers. Maximum exposure to spotlight your unique home with our fine homes and estates marketing so you can sell it for the highest price. And with no upfront fees and 1.9% real estate commission, you win. This is Angela Calais with Century 21 Benefit Realty, benefit-realty.com, where you pay less for full service. Each office is independently owned and operated.
Built Right Furniture, Leather, and Mattress.
You gotta get to Built Right today.
Trusted, relevant, locally owned, locally programmed. We are Wisconsin's radio station. News Radio 620, WTMJ Milwaukee.
At 2:01, it is currently 18 degrees and cloudy in Milwaukee. I'm Julia Fellow. Snow gets out of here late tonight. The low will be 13 degrees. Tomorrow, cloudy with a high of 20 degrees. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, police on scene at a shooting at Antioch High School in Nashville, Tennessee. 2 students, we're told, are shot by another student in the cafeteria. Police say the shooter then turned the weapon on themselves. 2 students who evacuated the school said they are in disbelief.
We got to 5th period, and then all of a sudden we was hearing, oh, it's a shooting. And then everybody was just panicking and everything.
The conditions of the other students that were shot is not known at this time. The Justice Department advising its employees to keep an eye out for local and state attempts to block the Trump administration's immigration enforcement efforts. ABC's Stephen Portnoy.
The 3-page memo from a senior Justice Department official who previously served as a Trump defense lawyer directs U.S. attorneys to investigate and prosecute local and state officials who resist, obstruct, or otherwise fail to comply with federal immigration commands and requests. A number of senior career officials in the department have now been reassigned by the new leadership to a sanctuary cities enforcement task force. They've been told if they don't like it, they can leave.
The memo also indicates those opposing the Trump administration's immigration efforts could be challenged in court. Governor Tony Evers will lay out his plan for our state during the annual State of the State tonight. His priorities for the next year include lowering costs for working families, reducing crime and preventing gun violence, he says, and investing in the health and well-being of children while improving classroom outcomes at school. The governor's speech from Madison starts at 7 tonight. A fight is brewing in the city and towns of Port Washington over a proposed $33 million AI data center.
At issue is an approved agreement that would allow the city to annex the site of the planned data center in the town, overtaking around 17% of its total land. Town residents voicing frustrations Tuesday night.
This is not what I signed up for. I'm out of here. Most of us are here tonight because we feel you're not listening to us.
Land in the town of Port Washington has been protected from annexation due to a 2004 border agreement that was expected to sunset at the end of this year. City and town leaders have both agreed to move that expiration date up to February 1st. Adam Roberts, WTMJ News.
Time for news about your money. The WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. Everything in the green. The Dow is up 164, S&P 500 up 47, NASDAQ up 275. Dow actually over 44,000 today. Financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com. Sports, traffic, and weather are next. Outdoor Living Unlimited News Time, 2:04.
Visit family-owned Ken Michaels Furniture and our in-store design centers where you'll still find beautiful, luxurious, heirloom-quality American-made furniture. Right now, save 30 to 35% store-wide and take advantage of our complimentary design services. Whether you're moving, renovating, or updating, our designers will help your vision become a reality. Visit Ken Michaels Furniture in Brookfield on Capitol Drive and in Greenfield on Highway 100 to save 30 to 35% store-wide today. Sleep better and save more with mattresses from Milwaukee Mattress and Ken Michaels Furniture. Handcrafted in our Milwaukee factory, our mattresses utilize natural materials like cotton cushioning, which dissipates body heat, Joma wool quilts for warm wintry nights and cool summer evenings, and natural latex providing superior conformability and pressure relief for aching joints. Stop in today at any Ken Michaels Furniture store and save up to 50% compared to national brands.
This is Evan Cohen from Unsportsmanlike on ESPN Radio. I'm reaching out with a message that's close to my heart. Devastating fires have ravaged the Los Angeles area, leaving families displaced, homes destroyed, and the community in need of help. Right now, you have the power to make a real difference. Your donation, big or small, can provide food, shelter, supplies, and much-needed support for those affected by the fires. If you are able to, please help those affected by the California wildfires and donate at www.lafoodbank.org/fire.
Gruber Law Office. One call, that's all.
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 Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
One call, that's all.
Hair Volume is the best-selling hair tablet in the world and one of many award-winning natural hair products from New Nordic. Purchase at newnordicusa.com or CVS.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call, That's All Sports Desk. Your Milwaukee Bucks getting a snow day today in New Orleans. The game against the Pelicans tonight postponed because of snowy conditions in the Big Easy. Congrats to former Brewers left-hand pitcher CC Sabathia, who is now one of 3 members of Baseball Hall of Fame's 2025 class on his first year on the ballot. This makes him the 9th Brewer to be enshrined at Cooperstown. During his 3 months in Milwaukee, CC Sabathia helped lead the team with the postseason 2008 as the NL wildcard winner, snapping the franchise's 25-year playoff drought. And tonight, UW-Milwaukee's men's basketball travels to Dayton, Ohio for a showdown with Wright State. Let's take a look at your roads with their WTMJ Johnson & Sons paving time-saver traffic. Oof, is what I said as soon as I opened it up and looked at everything. I-43 south, about a half mile beyond the ramp from Highway 32 north, County H. The right lane is blocked because of a crash just north of Port Washington. 4394 north, about a half mile past the ramp from Holt Avenue. The left shoulder blocked because of a crash. I-94 west at the ramp right at Moreland Boulevard East. 2 lanes on the left are closed because of a crash. I see a fire truck on scene. And a pepper of disabled vehicles all over the map in Milwaukee, Ozaukee, and Waukesha counties that were no match for this weather today. Just be aware and please take it easy. Here is your WTMJ 5-day forecast. Snow gets out of here late tonight. The low will be 13 degrees. Tomorrow, cloudy with a high of 20 degrees. Friday, sunny with a high of 23 degrees. A chance of flurries Saturday with a high of 23. And mostly sunny Sunday with a high of 28 degrees. Right now in Madison, it's 21 degrees and some light snows happening there. Green Bay, cloudy at 19 degrees. And Waukesha, light snow at 18 degrees. Outdoor Living Unlimited News Time, 2:08.
It's time to take a spin around Wisconsin and find stories you might have missed. Here's Spinning the State on Spanning the State with Kristin, Brey, and Brian Noonan.
If you are an interesting thing happening in Wisconsin, we will find you and we will report on you here on Spinning the State. If you miss any of the details, text SPIN to 855-616-1620 and we will text you all the details. You can also download it in a podcast form wherever you get your podcasts. All right, Kristin, you ready?
Sure. Let's go.
All right, sure. Let's go.
Neilsville.
All right, Neilsville. The debate over vaccinations, we know, is ongoing, and it shows no signs of stopping. The hesitation to get children vaccinated is raising concerns with public health officials. A confirmed case of mumps in Clark County, which has one of the state's lowest rates of vaccination against measles, mumps, and rubella, aka MMR, has officials on alert. Dr. Jonathan Tempt, a professor of family medicine and the associate dean of public health and community engagement for the University of Wisconsin School of Medicine and Public Health, spoke with WPR. He said that vaccine hesitancy, access challenges, and mistrust of the medical system are common barriers to improving vaccination rates in rural areas like Clark County. Quote, I think there's access to care issues. To get vaccines very, very close to home, we have to have sufficient pediatricians and family physicians. There can also be increased hesitation in rural areas, sometimes because of that lack of availability of trusted clinical practices. Mumps begins with flu-like symptoms, including fever, muscle aches, pain in the front of the neck, and trouble chewing. Complications can become severe, ranging from encephalitis to deafness.
Ooh.
So,
yeah, I thought MMR is that combo deal that everybody, well, not everybody gets, but think about it because that's serious business.
I like being able to hear.
I like being able to hear. I like not having pains in my neck and lumps and everything else. And, well, you should like that for your children, too. Let's spin it again.
Green Bay.
This is interesting news. Green Bay area public schools will start work toward long-term carbon-neutral sustainability goals, focusing on electricity, renewable energy, and upgrades as it completes a series of referendum projects. The thing is, how those goals will be met is still unknown. Cale Polzinski, Chief Operations Officer for the district, told the Press-Gazette, quote, the strategy we're recommending is a pathway, our best pathway to meet the goal. So not necessarily a plan. Oh, no, I hope he please don't say a concept of a plan. No, he says it's really a recommendation on how we can meet that goal, end quote. In 2020, the school board set a series of clean energy benchmarks. They wanted 50% carbon neutrality by 2035, 75% by 2040, and 100% by 2050, and established an advisory committee in October of 2023. Well, that committee, which included several board members, spent all of last year preparing a series of sustainability recommendations to meet those goals, which were presented to the board Monday night. Green Bay schools will move away from fossil fuels and toward electrification and renewable energy. No cost projection for the project was presented. Ooh, that's not good. For something to be carbon neutral, Kristin, its greenhouse gas emissions must be offset by actions that reduce those emissions, like investing in renewable and efficient energy.
Got it.
There you go.
All
and
right.
now you know the
now
rest
we
of
know.
the story.
Manitowoc.
All right, well, when you're 81, you might need to get a little work done to help return you to some semblance of your former glory. A historic decorated World War II submarine credited with sinking more than a dozen enemy ships is heading to Door County this fall for repairs and maintenance, and it's likely people will be able to view it as it passes in Lake Michigan. So the Press-Gazette reported that the USS Cobia, docked outside the Wisconsin Maritime Museum, where the Manitowoc River meets Lake Michigan, will be brought to Sturgeon Bay and go into dry dock for at least 6 weeks of work to help preserve it and make sure it remains afloat. So it was launched in November of 1943 and first pressed into service in 1944. But now this is the first time the 310-foot-long Gato-class sub, I don't even know what is Gato-class?
I don't know. We'll have to talk to Snide. He might know.
Will be in dry dock in almost 30 years. The entire sub is restored to 1945 specs, including restoring the SJ-1 radar, thought to be the oldest operational radar in the world. There's
cool.
nothing wrong or broken on the Cobia. It's simply due for the types of work that comes from its age and not being dry docked since 1996.
Have you ever gone into a sub?
I've gone into the one at the Science of Industry in Chicago, and I could never.
Yes,
I could never.
You and I are both way too tall to be submariners.
It's not even that. It's also just the idea of being on a ship, let alone a ship underwater, for days, weeks, months at a time.
Yes.
Like Mike and I started watching Shogun,
Okay.
which just won a bunch of awards
Yeah,
at
is
the
it good?
Golden Globes. It is good. I mean, if you don't like subtitles, it's not good because it's mostly in Japanese. But there's people just on like some of the scenes of just being on ships and being in like, the 15th or 16th century and what it would have been like to go from on a ship from England to Japan for that long and just be on the boat with these kinds of guys for that long. I was like, nope, I'm good.
At least on a boat, my only thing would be you could go on deck and get some air. Yeah. In a submarine, you're in a tube
Just can you imagine
underwater.
how it smelled?
Oh, no. And I've got to figure all those sailors have to be no more than like 5, 6 tops.
Well, isn't that the David Robinson? He joined the Navy and then he had a growth spurt, and they're like, "Oh, you can't. You're too tall, man.
You can't really do much. You look good in the uniform, but that's it." Well, if you missed any of the stories that we did on spinning today, then by all means text spin to 855-616-1620, and don't forget you can listen to Spinning the State, the whole show, our interviews, on our podcast. You can get them at WTMJ.com or wherever you get your podcasts. So download, send us nice comments, tell your friends, share the podcast. Those are all the things. Do we still like and subscribe? Is that still a thing?
We do.
All right.
And leave comments, leave reviews, tell your friends.
So much to do instead of just listening. Listen, that's a lot of instructions. You may be overwhelmed. You may think to yourself, Brian, I need to relax. What will help you relax? A box of Thin Mints? Well, you may be in luck. We'll cover that after this on Spanning the State.
Creative Planning presents Rethink Your Money with John Hagenson, Saturday afternoon at 2. Get the most up-to-date financial advice and the freshest thinking on investments, tax strategies, estate planning, and more. You'll learn how our team-based approach at Creative Planning helps ensure all aspects of your wealth are working harder together. Don't settle for anything less than a customized and comprehensive financial plan and portfolio. Give your wealth a second look by going to creativeplanning.com/radio.
Elevate your game day gear or any outfit with official merchandise from the Milwaukee Bucks Pro Shop. From authentic jerseys to exclusive apparel and accessories, the Bucks Pro Shop has everything you need to showcase your fandom wherever you go. Cheer the Deer to victory with authentic Milwaukee Bucks items. Visit us at the Bucks Pro Shop at Fiserv Forum or Bayshore Mall, or shop online at shop.bucks.com.
Politics, work, daily stressors. Let's take a break from all that and get centered, Christ-centered. I'm Pastor Tim Butker. Join me each week for Christian Crusaders, a broadcast that highlights the gospel, the good news of Jesus, and our belief in the authoritative Word of God. Christ-centered, gospel-oriented, Bible-based, Christian Crusaders. Please join us Sundays at 6 a.m. on WTMJ. We'd love to have you worship with us.
Be our eyes on the road. See something out there that I should know about?
On 894 North, just before the National Avenue exit, the right lane is closed. There's a medical emergency, it looks like.
Call me, Debbie Lazaga, on the WTMJ traffic tip line, 414-238-9329.
Hello, Debbie. 41 South, just before Capitol Drive. There are 2 cars involved in an accident.
The drive affects you. Why not be part of it? Give me a call, 414-238-9329.
Welcome back to Spanning the State. If you want a little treat, you're in luck. I'm Kristin Brey.
And I'm Brian Noonan, and today is the day that a lot of us look forward to. I know in my house back in the day when Molly was a Girl Scout, it was the beginning of a campaign that taught me that my daughter was way more driven than I will ever be. That kid wanted to sell more Girl Scout cookies, and she actually did. She won awards for how many Girl Scout cookies
For the
she
little
sold.
I know about Molly without having met her, I believe you.
Yes, and it wasn't like I didn't have to buy them and eat them. I don't even think we took stuff to work because I was on the road. I'm not taking them to some club in Cincinnati and going, want to buy my Girl Scout cookies? No, so she was doing it herself. But yes, today Girl Scout cookies season begins.
It does. And so joining us on the phone now is Director of Product Program at Girl Scouts of Wisconsin Southeast, Wendy Dahl. Welcome to the show, Wendy.
Thanks for having us.
Absolutely. So first, I just have to start. I checked out your LinkedIn profile. Have you really been working for the Girl Scouts of Wisconsin Southeast for 22 years?
Wow.
You know what, I actually have, and it's so funny. I was talking to a girlfriend last night at dinner, and I said, I kind of like took this job as like, well, I'll do it for a year. And I said, I found my calling.
Oh,
found
my gosh.
niche. And it's been like 25 years. And I said, I'm one of the few people that can say I really like coming to work. I like my job.
How is the Girl Scout? We're going to get into the Girl Scout cookies and what's changed this year and what you can get and what you can't get. But I guess just as in almost, a quarter century, what have you seen change with the Girl Scouts over time?
Girl Scouts or cookies? Because I'll tell you all cookies.
Both.
It's kind of crazy. When I started, we did everything with just paper and pen.
Mm-hmm.
So the orders would have to be all compiled manually and then entered in, and then people had to pay in like cash. So people would bring in like, $10,000, $20,000 in singles and quarters and craziness.
Yep.
So us going to the online has just streamlined it so much. So that's one of the big things I've seen. It's been interesting. It's been good. It's been really good.
Okay.
One of my favorite evolutions of Girl Scout cookies. Well, one was when my daughter was selling Girl Scout cookies, and you could buy boxes of cookies to send to the troops. So so you didn't, like, if you're on a diet, you go, well, I want to support the Girl Scouts, but I don't. And you can still buy cookies to donate, which I think is a great thing, because there's some people who just want to help but don't want to eat the cookies. What other big have there been other big evolutions in Girl Scouts? I know you've kind of gotten away from the girls walking the neighborhoods, right?
There are some girls that still walk the neighborhood, but what's really cool is they can still take the orders online. There's an app. So even if I'm taking a face-to-face order with you, I can put your order in online and you can pay online. So we don't have to worry about, doing cash or check
that's great.
payments.
Nice.
Yeah. And then you can even do what you were talking about is called our Cookie Share program. So you can even do that part online too. And that's been growing and growing every year, which is awesome.
Yeah.
We were able to donate 2,400 cases. I can't do the math in my head, but there's 12 packages in a case.
A lot of cookies.
Last year, we do the food pantries, we do the armed forces, we do rescue missions, first responders. We kind of go all over in southeastern Wisconsin. So that's a really big program, and it's really powerful.
That is very cool.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
All right, so let's talk about the cookies.
Yes.
I have heard that it was a new cookie, and it was one of my favorite new cookies, but it's the last year for the s'mores cookie?
The s'mores cookie is actually the other baker, and we had a s'mores, but we got rid of that a couple of years ago.
Oh, okay.
So our cookie that is retiring this year is the Toast J. It kind of tastes like Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
Oh, that one's
and
really good,
the last
too.
Year for this.
This is the last year for. Okay, I gotta get a lot of those.
Yeah, I've heard some disappointment, but just think of it. You get to look forward to a new cookie next year.
That's true.
That's true. So now you said something that threw me. The other baker. There more than one company making the Girl Scout cookies?
There are 2 bakeries in the United States that are licensed Girl Scout bakers, and each council gets to choose which bakery they go with, and it's about 50-50. But if you've been, like you just said, the s'mores at the other baker, or if you've ever heard of the Do-si-dos or the tagalongs, they're basically our exact same cookies, but just with a different name because they're made by a different baker.
Interesting.
Who changed the name of the Samoa? Is that because of different bakers? Because I still call it a Samoa.
It's a different baker. That's from the other baker. So it's never been changed. It's been Samoa on that side, and on our side, it's the Caramel Delight.
How do different councils decide which baker to go with?
Oh, we go through a huge what do you call it? Like they present they come and tell us all their things.
They give you a pitch.
What they have to offer us. Yes, that's what I'm trying to say.
Okay.
But they all come, and then we have a board of, like me and my team, and then we bring in volunteers, and then the actual board of directors for our council, and we make a joint decision of which baker to go with.
Got it. And then this is the $5 box reminds me of the $1 Costco hot dog. And who decides that there's we're never is this just a decision that the price is never gonna raise? Because is it still only $5 a box?
I went up to $6 a box, but
okay.
that is also goes through a vetting process with our the board of directors and our finance team and everything.
Okay.
So it changes. Per council decides on how much they're going to charge. And unfortunately, we haven't raised the price in several years. And obviously, our cost has gone up year and year and year. So it was time we had to raise the price.
And I say this just tongue in cheek because everybody says it every year. The boxes got smaller.
Actually, they probably have from the very beginning, but they have not in the last 5 years.
Very
So
nice.
people say that like they're raising the price and making the box smaller. That's not true.
All
and
right.
we tell them when they decrease the size.
You just get bigger, Brian.
All right. Is Thin Mint still the top seller? Is that the be all end all of Girl Scout cookies?
It is the be-all, end-all, and I love this statistic. I always tell people this. There's 8 different cookies, and out of our total inventory that we sell, 25% of the inventory we sell is Thin Mints.
Wow.
Out of 8 cookies. So think about that.
That's a lot of
Thin Mints rivals like the Oreos and the Chips Ahoy. I mean, that's how many we sell, and we only sell for, 6 weeks?
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
crazy.
All right, so Wendy, just before we let you go, remind people where all the funds go when they buy their Girl Scout cookies.
Well, obviously we have to pay the baker, but then each troop earns proceeds, so they earn money per box, and a lot of troops are earning well over $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 for their troop, and that funds what they want to do with their troop. And then the girls also earn individually rewards, if you will. So we have to pay for those. So then about 50% stays here at our council. And it pays for everything here in southeastern Wisconsin. That's the great thing. It stays right here in our council. We have the most beautiful camp properties, so it pays for our camp properties, the upkeep of that, the buildings, the trainings. We offer financial assistance for girls. Like, it's pretty much everything.
That's awesome. All right, well, Wendy Dahl, thank you so much for joining us today, and I hope it's a good, profitable selling season.
Definitely.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Wendy.
Wendy Dahl is the Director of Product Program at Girl Scouts of Wisconsin Southeast. We'll come back and talk about what our favorite Girl Scout cookies are after this.
Here's to a Wisconsin winter you will always remember. To playing outdoors in a winter wonderland. Here's to cozying up around the fire and holding someone close. And to staying downtown, where the food scene makes your heart sing. And to celebrating moments frozen in time. Here's to those who Wisconsin. Plan your winter getaway at travelwisconsin.com. Sponsored by Travel Wisconsin.
I know, it's here. It's January. WTMJ's John Mercure here. If you have the January blues, brighten up your day with a free prime rib dinner tonight at the historic Fox and Hound Supper Club, voted the best supper club in the area. When you buy one prime rib dinner, you get a second prime rib dinner free. Or order anything on the menu, your second dinner is always free. Desserts and those huge ice cream drinks. Buy one, get one free. Sip on an old-fashioned, a Manhattan, a bourbon, or choose from over 100 wines on a brand-new wine list. The Fox and Hounds is in the heart of the Kettle Moraine Forest. It is truly a one-of-a-kind gem. The holiday decorations are still up. Check them out. Thousands of lights, Christmas characters. It is a must-see, and those 7 wood-burning fireplaces will keep you warm and cozy on a cold January night. Just off Highway 167, 2 miles east of the famous Holy Hill Shrine. The drive is beautiful. The restaurant is spectacular this time of year. Enjoy your free prime rib dinner tonight. Reserve at foxandhoundsrestaurant.com. It's the famous Fox and Hounds.
By now, you've probably figured out what's most important to us at Semper Fi is our reputation. Building a great character-driven remodeling company is actually quite easy. It's just the first 20 years that are a bit challenging. Great companies are collections of great people, and we have great people. They're the ones that helped us build our reputation, but they only come after you've built something they want to be part of. We don't necessarily have to look for good people. They come to us. And that's what you want when you hire an exterior remodeling company. Someone who's going to stand behind their work, and a company that is truly proud of their people. And it's because they do great work. And when you're ready, we'll do great work for you too. This is Brad Youngluth with Semper Fi Roofing and Exteriors, your local, veteran-owned and operated exterior remodeling company. For your new roof, siding, window and door installation, or masonry work, you can count on Semper Fi to keep you safe, warm, and dry.
We keep you safe, warm, and dry, Semper Fi.
We're on the air in 3, 2...
Hey, it's Vince Vitrano. John Mercure here. Wait, does that car say Pella on the side? What's Gina Della doing here?
Sorry, I'm late.
We're on the air in 3, 2...
Recognize my voice? Get used to it.
Talk all things Windows, business, and being a boss in more ways than one with Gina Della from Pella's very own show right here on WTMJ. Starting February 1st, tune into What's the Difference every Saturday morning at 6:30 or stream anytime on WTMJ.com.
What a tease.
C is for cookie, that's good enough for me. C is for cookie, that's good enough for me. C is for Cookie.
All right.
Talking my language, Cookie.
I'm so excited. Our niece we got the video, I think, last week from our niece who's 7, turning 8.
Okay.
From her Girl Scouts, her pitch.
Yes.
Her pitch video.
Let's
But
go.
I do think this is the same thing because I did Girl Scout cookies, but I also did magazine sales.
Yes.
And there is something about going door to door and making the pitch.
Yes.
And I get that maybe we're in a different time now, and depending on your neighborhood, just going door to door is not always as welcomed as maybe it once was. But I do think there's something, and Mike and I are insistent. I was like, all right, this is a very cute video that she sent us, but we're going to need to hear it in person. We're going to need her to actually sell us some boxes of cookies.
Molly would do our whole neighborhood on foot. Then Debbie would take her to other neighborhoods. Then they did out in front of the grocery store. This kid was out of her mind. Was
she a little bit of a hustler? Would she ever not give the right amount? I've heard stories about that as far as not giving the right amount change back. She's like, it's for a good cause.
No, she was very honest. We were supposed to go to the news in a couple seconds. So we'll talk a little more about this, but we'll also talk meme coin. ABC News and local headlines are next.
ABC News, I'm Chuck Sievertson. A deadly shooting in the cafeteria of Nashville's Antioch High School today. Police say the shooter was 17. He shot 2 students. 1 died, and then he shot and killed himself, a student.
We got to 5th period, and then all of a sudden we was hearing, it's a shooting. And then everybody was just panicking and everything.
No word on a motive. More Southern California fire danger. ABC's Alex Stone in Los Angeles.
A new fire of concern that's growing rapidly is a Hughes fire, which is exploding in red flag fire conditions, pushing toward the town of Castaic, which is in northern LA County near Santa Clarita. There's a huge plume of smoke with flames chewing through the Angeles National Forest. There are some evacuations in place, and schools in the area are bringing children indoors because of the smoke.
The Pentagon will send as many as 1,500 more troops to help secure the southern border, say U.S. officials. Big winter storm has hit the Florida Panhandle, Georgia, and the eastern Carolinas. This is ABC News.
Outdoor Living Unlimited News Time, 2:31. I'm Julia Fellow. Your top story, the 19-year-old accused of setting fire to Congressman Glenn Grothman's district office in Fond du Lac, now charged with arson and making terroristic threats. Caden Satchowicz of Menasha is behind bars on a $500,000 bond. Police say he admitted to setting the fire in response to the TikTok ban. In 2022, Grothman joined other Republican lawmakers urging Governor Tony Evers to ban the app on government devices in Wisconsin. Grothman says the 19-year-old had no prior contact with him. Removing the chief diversity officer at the University of Wisconsin-Madison. Dr. LeVar Charleston is leaving his role as vice chancellor for inclusive excellence amid financial concerns for the Division of Diversity, Equity, and Educational Achievement. Charleston has led the division for 3 years. He will remain employed at the university, but will return to his previous teaching position. Governor Tony Evers will lay out his plan for Wisconsin during the annual State of the State tonight. The governor's speech for Madison starts at 7. Time for news about your money, the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. Everything in the green. The Dow is over 44,000, up 150. S&P 500 up 44. NASDAQ is up 261. Financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com. Let's take a look at your roads with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons paving time saver traffic. Lots of disabled vehicles in Milwaukee, Ozaukee, and Waukesha counties that were no match for this weather today. Just be aware and take it easy. I-43 south, about a half mile beyond the ramp from Highway 32 north to County H. The right lane is blocked because of a crash. That's just north of Port Washington. 4394 north, just beyond the ramp from Holt Avenue. Left shoulder is blocked right now because of a crash. Lots of slowdowns. And one more, I-94 west at the ramp from Borland Boulevard east. The 2 left lanes are closed because of a crash. Looks like they're cleaning that one up. Here is your WTMJ 5-day forecast. The snow gets out of here later tonight. The low will be 13 degrees. Tomorrow, cloudy with a high of 20 degrees. Friday, sunny with a high of 23 degrees. Chance of flurries Saturday with a high of 23. And mostly sunny with a high of 20 degrees. Right now in Milwaukee, it's 21 degrees and cloudy. Outdoor Living Unlimited News Time, 2:33.
Hey, business owners, are you looking to sell your business? I'm sure you have plenty of questions. WTMJ's John Mercure here. Join me for our latest Annex Wealth Management webinar. I'll be joined by Brandon Lehman and Brian Lamborn from Annex Wealth Management as we answer your questions. Who should you consult? And of course, when is the best time for you to sell your business? Sign up for this free webinar on Wednesday, January 29th. Text WEB to 855-616-1620 to sign up for the free webinar. Only here on WTMJ.
This is Evan Cohen from Unsportsmanlike on ESPN Radio. I'm reaching out with a message that's close to my heart. Devastating fires have ravaged the Los Angeles area, leaving families displaced, homes destroyed, and the community in need of help. Right now, you have the power to make a real difference. Your donation, big or small, can provide food, shelter, supplies, and much-needed support for those affected by the fires. If you are able to, please help those affected by the California wildfires and donate at www.lafoodbank.org/fire.
Hey, WTMJ's John Mercure here, asking you to join me in October as my wife and I explore the magical kingdoms of Southeast Asia, from the villages of Vietnam and the temples of Cambodia to the friendly locals of Laos and the beachside resort in stunning, lively Thailand. I hope you'll join us for this unforgettable journey. Ancient and mysterious worlds of rural landscapes, bustling cities, and fascinating history in Vietnam. Explore the Chu Chi tunnels used by the Viet Cong. Experience a street food adventure through Hanoi and cherish the serenity of Hai Long Bay on a beautiful boat ride. Bangkok in Thailand, the beaches in Thailand, history, tradition, food. If you'd like more information on this great trip, send me an email. john.mercure@wtmj.com. john.mercure@wtmj.com. It's Thailand, Vietnam, Cambodia, Laos. I'm super jazzed about this trip. Send me an email. I send you the info. john.mercure, MERCURE, @wtmj.com.
It is Spanning the State. I'm Brian Noonan.
And I am Kristin Brey. And President Donald Trump promised crypto investors that he'd usher in an era of legitimacy for an industry that's long been, let's say, relegated to the financial wilderness. And then days before his inauguration, he shocked many of his crypto supporters by introducing a digital token known as a meme coin. And some would say maybe a worthless asset that trades on reputation, but I don't really know because I still don't understand meme coins, even though it's been added to our vocabulary. So here to explain what a meme coin is, what this means as far as a president being able to make money off of this, is Marquette University Emeritus Associate Professor of Finance, David Krause. Welcome back to the show, David.
Glad to be here. Thanks.
So what is a meme coin?
Let's get right to it.
It's kind of a digital lottery ticket.
Is it different than like an NFT?
It is different than
Okay.
an NFT. I mean, let's talk about what it isn't at first.
Okay.
Although it's a cryptocurrency, it doesn't have a purpose or a function other than it's built on speculation and entertainment. Now, that's different than Bitcoin or some of the other cryptocurrencies you've heard about. They have a real purpose or utility behind them.
But how? Like, what do you mean by a utility? That's because last time you were on, we were talking about Bitcoin and how the Wisconsin Pension Fund had invested in Bitcoin. So this being a legitimate thing that people are banking their retirements on, and you can, depending on the outlet, you can use Bitcoin to buy stuff now. But then it's still considered under the umbrella of crypto? A meme coin is as well?
It's referred to as crypto.
Okay.
You properly called it a token rather than a coin. And I don't want to get into whether a tomato is a vegetable or a fruit, but technically a meme coin is a token. It sits on top of something else. It doesn't have its own technology.
Okay.
You take something like Bitcoin or Ethereum, one of these cryptos, they actually have their own blockchains, their own technology.
Okay.
And as boring as that might seem, and people will switch channels again and turn on Sports Talk or NPR if we talk about blockchain, but they serve a real purpose.
Yeah.
Companies like Walmart are running their entire end-to-end supply chains on things like blockchains. They serve a very useful, quiet purpose. Meme coins are lottery tickets. It's the next FOMO, fear of missing out.
Okay.
Now, are these the kind of things that, the Haktua girl had a Bitcoin, had a coin, and she got accused of a pump and dump. Could this be, not that this is, but are meme coins more susceptible to that kind of scam than, say, a Bitcoin, a cryptocurrency?
Yeah, I mean, there's 17,000 cryptocurrencies,
right,
but let's nail it down to about 20 that are legitimate, that have real technologies behind them. Meme coins are notorious for being pump and dump or rug pulls, scams or frauds.
Right.
Over 50% of them end up with some type of fraudulent activity surrounding them. A pump and dump is where the promoters come up with an idea, promote it very heavily through digital marketing, social media, getting people all hepped up. Prices go up, they sell at the height and disappear.
Right.
A rug pull, on the other hand, is another type of fraud used in the meme coin industry where, frankly, they just sell, take the money, and disappear, shut down operations.
Okay.
Now, as far as the Trump meme coin, there's a white paper which legitimizes it, and it's very clear that this is a speculation, that there's no business behind it. It's a club that you're joining, essentially.
Well, that was the disclaimer that they put on that. Does that protect? Is that disclaimer of that white paper enough that down the road, and we don't know if anything bad's going to happen, I'll preface it with saying that, but if something were to go wrong with this, is that enough to protect whoever put this meme coin out?
Yeah. First of all, they're not regulated. Okay?
Yeah, that's true.
This is even prior to Trump 2.0.
Right.
The SEC had very little control over these types of, dare I call them, securities, because they're really not. But now, again, it's buyer beware. This is the Wild West. You buy a meme coin and it goes south, tough luck.
And so I know, going into this, I started the segment, a lot of the crypto thought leaders were very excited about a Donald Trump presidency because he had promised as far as legitimizing this. But at least what I can decipher is some of them are very critical of Trump doing this move. Can you explain why?
Yeah, the crypto bros are not happy. I mean, Trump this summer in Nashville during a campaign talked about a Bitcoin strategic reserve and talked about unleashing technology in the United States and bringing crypto sort of out of the shadows.
Yeah.
And that really excited the technology crowd.
Yeah.
And there's some blockchain purists. I put myself in that camp.
Okay.
I'm not really a crypto person, but I do believe in emerging underlying technology.
Yeah.
And so I wasn't upset at all by this. I was looking forward to seeing what was going to happen. Now, unexpectedly, Friday night at 9:00,
during a reception with a bunch of crypto people there, right?
Took everybody by surprise. And this is sort of the worst case. So rather than talking about legitimizing the industry, here you come with a highly speculative joke crypto. It really was baffling to the industry.
So they're upset about it because it's a step away from legitimizing it?
Yeah, delegitimizes what they were hoping. If you remember 2022, when we had the crypto winter and we had FTX with Sam Bankman-Fried,
Right.
we had all sorts of
He in jail
scandals.
still?
He's out of jail.
He's
Yeah.
out of jail.
Yeah.
I wonder if he's involved.
It took a long time for the industry to sort of claw back and get its reputation. And they were hopeful that this administration would be supportive of the industry. And then lo and behold, the meme coin comes along.
Do you think this meme coin means that they're not supportive of the industry?
I think they're supportive of the industry. I wrote a paper recently that asked the question whether this Trump meme coin was greed, genius, or grift.
And
I think it's all three of them.
I
really
believe
do.
so too. Has there been, if we could use other meme coins as an example, have there been big ones, or is the Trump one just because of his popularity going to be like so far the biggest meme coin?
Already,
we've
this
seen?
is the third largest meme coin, and it's in the top 20 of all crypto. That quickly within 4 days. Now there are two larger than the Trump. These were Dogecoin
Okay.
So Dogecoin is also a meme coin.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Yes, it is. And here's the thing. Dogecoin actually has a legitimate technology behind it.
So then what makes it a meme coin?
It's a meme coin because it was made frivolously, given a name, marketed as a fun thing. But underneath it, the community supported it. It has its own blockchain. It's a legitimate technology underneath. And it's used to tip creators of digital programs. It's been used to tip charitable organizations. So it's actually serving a useful purpose, that particular meme coin.
So how, if somebody wants, they're like, I'm going to start to dabble in crypto, what should they be looking for to go? Should they just go with the big names like Bitcoin, et cetera? Or what should I be looking for if I've got a little money and I want to invest to make sure that I'm not getting into that?
You can't give advice, right?
I'm not a registered investment advisor.
I know that. I know that. But are there warning signs? I guess that's what I'm saying. Yeah. Like I should go, oh, that looks fishy.
Very good. If you are so inclined to want to explore this area, first of all, find out if it has a white paper.
Okay.
All right.
Read it. And if you can't understand it, don't invest in it. Okay. And if you understand it, dig a little deeper and make certain that it's not snake oil. That there really are people behind it, that their resumes are solid, that their backgrounds are sufficient, that the use and intended use of this makes sense.
Okay.
So there's no government authority.
So
that you
due
can turn
diligence
to.
can help
your own
you to
due
a
diligence.
certain point. Okay.
As I said, this is the Wild West. There is no SEC requiring
That's coming to save you
here.
if something goes wrong.
Yeah.
All right, final question we got on the text line. Is a meme coin like buying stock in the Packers?
You know what? I wanted to link this to the title of your program, Spanning the State. What does this have to do with Wisconsin? The Green Bay Packer stock certificate that people have bought for years.
Including myself. I mean, I didn't buy it. It was a gift when I was like 10.
It's like a meme.
It is like a meme coin.
It is. And there's nothing
It's
wrong.
only as valuable as what we put into it? Is
That's
that kind
right,
of what
but
it is?
there's a sense of community.
Okay.
You asked about meme coins. There are some that have solid communities behind them, that there's an agreement. And in this case, the Trump meme coin, there's clearly a group of large supporters behind. And this is sort of their way, the same way as Green Bay Packer fans buying
I'm a shareholder.
I'm a shareholder.
Yeah. But again, this could be way too long for you to answer, and we'll have you back another time. So I've got this meme coin. I have a community that all agrees, oh, this has value. What value does it have? Can I buy and sell? Can I buy things with it? I understand, like Bitcoin, you can invest into. What am I doing with it?
And you can't hang it on the wall in your basement next to your bar or anything like that. Like
Kristin's got her thing framed. And at least she gets to look at it every day. I got this meme coin.
There's discussion that maybe you could buy some Trump NFTs at a discounted price.
Oh, okay.
They talk about there being, a reward or discount system. But no, to answer your question, no, this is purely based on speculation.
Okay.
I call it the greater fool theory. And people who've taken my courses know this. Assets either have a fundamental value, they have interest or dividends or rents that get kicked off, and you can figure out what they're worth by analyzing them, or some assets are only worth what the next person is willing to pay for it. Meme coins fall under the greater fool theory. You're the smartest person so long as you can sell it to somebody at a higher price. And when somebody else, it's musical chairs. So when the music stops, if you've got a seat, congratulations. But if you're standing up, that thing can go to zero.
Wow. Where can people find the paper that you wrote?
Out on something called ResearchGate.
Okay.
It's also on Marquette's website.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Marquette University Emeritus Associate Professor of Finance, David Krause, as always, great to have you.
Thanks, David. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
All right. We'll have more after this on Spanning the State.
AccuNet Mortgage is an equal housing lender. NMLS ID 255368.
Elizabeth and John bought their starter home 8 years ago, BC, as in before children. Now, with 2 elementary school-age kids, they wanted to make a move to the suburbs for a bigger home with more yard. But they didn't know if or how they could buy their next home without selling their current one. Fortunately, a friend who was a multi-time AccuNet client connected him with us, and we soon determined they could, in fact, afford to buy without selling first, which was a big relief to them and their real estate agent. Armed with an AccuNet rock-solid guaranteed pre-approval, it still took several weeks to find the right home for the next chapter in their life. But I'm happy to report that Elizabeth, John, and their boys opened their presents on Christmas morning in their new home after closing just a few days before. Whether you're buying your first home or your next home, go with the pros who have all the tools and know-how to make your home buying experience as smooth and successful as humanly possible. Get started with your rock-solid guaranteed pre-approval by clicking on the blue button at AccuNet.com. That's ACCUNET.com.
Church and Chapel Funeral Homes. Family owned, family operated, family priced. Church and Chapel Funeral Homes. There's one near you.
Hey, it's WTMJ's Eric Bilstead. As we ring in 2025, are you heading into the new year with the same old joint pain? It's time to make a resolution, to get moving again. No more achy joints for your knees, your hips, shoulders, or your back. You're going to call QC Kinetics in 2025, the nation's leader in regenerative medicine and joint preservation. Got locations in Greenfield and Mequon under the leadership of Medical Director Dr. Ashley Caravelli. Yes, you can revitalize your joints with advanced orthobiologic treatments at QC Kinetics. No steroids, no drugs, no surgery. This is the future of medicine using an array of natural solutions. So many of your neighbors here in Milwaukee are living life again without the constant pain in their joints. Here's what you do. Resolve to get lasting relief in 2025. Call QC Kinetics today, 414-285-3474. That's 414-285-3474. Call QC Kinetics today. Happy New Year.
Progressive's Auto Quote Explorer lets you easily compare direct rates from different insurance companies, so you can be confident you're getting the right one, even if it's not with Progressive. Way more confident than you were when you tried online gaming. Who knew 12-year-old boys could be so mean? And where did they learn to swear like that? 2 hours of losing to these underage trash talkers, and you're starting to question if maybe you really should stick to pickleball and other boomer stuff. So use Progressive's Auto Quote Explorer and be confident you're getting insurance that's right for you. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Not available in all states or situations. Prices vary based on how you buy.
Right now at Wendy's, get 2 of these fave items for just $7. The spicier classic chicken sandwich, Dave's single, or 10-piece nugs. It's an incredible deal, but an insanely difficult choice. Do you go double chicky sando, both spicy and classic, 1 beefy and 1 chicky? Or maybe you go all in on one and go Nug Max. 2 faves for just $7? Gotta be Wendy's.
At participating Wendy's for a limited time only. Select a request 2 for $7 deal to redeem. Not valid in a combo or with saucy nugs. Single item at regular price. Prices may be higher in Alaska and Hawaii.
All right, I am by no means a Luddite, but this crypto stuff, I'm getting a little more of a handle on. This meme coin thing is insane to me.
Yeah, I feel like I have a little bit better grasp on it now that David tried to explain it. I get the point of, because it goes back to being like into collectibles.
Sure.
It's as valuable as everyone believes that it is. And so like my husband with his sports cards, where it's like it's a piece of cardboard. So the actual tangible value of this, of what it takes to make it, is, next to nothing.
Right.
But as long as how rare it is, how many people want it, all these things. And so in that way is the only way I can kind of wrap my head around someone being willing to invest. But then if you sell it, Dave Portnoy tweeted out he made like $1 million in a day because he was able to buy so much of it and then turn around and sell it as it was still going up.
As David said, the greater fool concept.
Yeah.
You're always good because a few years ago, when the NFT thing started, and I felt the same way as I do about this meme coin. It's like, I paid X amount for this little picture of a gorilla head. Now, can I hang it on my wall? Nope. Where can you see it? Oh, it's on your phone. Okay.
I know.
And now I'm going to sell this, but I don't really have it. So does it go off?
But it's
my
one
phone?
of a kind, and there's like a digital fingerprint on it. I know, and I feel like now we haven't talked about NFTs in like 2 years.
Right, NFTs bottomed out.
That was the first time I thought of NFTs in 2 years.
Yeah.
So, all right, well we'll come back to this and say goodbye because Wisconsin's afternoon news is coming next.
The only place to get this.
Every twist and turn you could possibly dream of is playing out tonight. Are you kidding me?
With some of this.
We are the Bucks, Justin.
You're a member of the team now. Okay.
Well, I have the tattoo on my arm, so I kind of am.
Get it all on Bucks Talk, your all-encompassing Milwaukee Bucks postgame show with Justin Garcia and Brandon Snide. Only heard here on the home of the Bucks, WTMJ.
Hey, this is WTMJ's Steve Scavini for Heiser Automotive. I love talking about Heiser. Just picked up a 2023 pre-owned Chevy Silverado 1500 LT, beautiful glacier blue. Here's what I love about Heiser. All the great programs. Safe and Sound program. Vehicle exchange program. Valid on new or pre-owned vehicles, which is what I was talking about. Purchase or lease for the comfort of your own home. Roadside assistance for life. All the things you love about Heiser is all the reasons why they say every day and why I always tell people at Heiser, today's your day.
This message is sponsored by WisCaregiver.com. Now is the time to start a meaningful career as a caregiver. Make a real difference in people's lives. WisCaregiver.com gives you 2 great options for free. Train for the in-demand caregiver workforce as a CDCP, Certified Direct Care Professional, or become a CNA, Certified Nurse Aide. All training is free. Plus, you can earn a $500 bonus. Learn more. Visit WisCaregiver.com.
Start the new year off right with a new Tempur-Pedic mattress from Steinhafels. Right now, you can get a new Tempur-Pedic for just $52 per month when you use Steinhafels 60-month financing. Plus, you get $300 in Steinhafels cash. Shop in-store or on steinhafels.com.
WTMJ's Vince Vitrano here for Shopco Optical. Start the new year right. Use your vision benefits and schedule your annual comprehensive eye exam. You can check out new frame styles and order your annual supply of contact lenses all in one place. Shopco Optical is committed to quality eye care and will create personalized vision solutions tailored to your specific vision and lifestyle needs. New year, new you, new style. Call Shopco Optical or visit shopco.com to schedule an appointment at a location nearest you.
So how do you underpromise and still get the job? We believe in our hearts we're going to do great work for you. We're just really careful about making unrealistic promises. At Semper Fi, we refuse to set the bar higher than we can jump. But be assured, that's the goal. To do all we can to jump as high as possible to try to exceed your expectations. We're looking to break records. That's how you win over customers, get really great referrals, and build a great business. When you're making a decision to hire an exterior remodeling company, character, integrity, and the feeling that the people you're about to hire are truly eager to show you how good they are should stand at the top of your list. This is Brad Youngluth with Semper Fi Roofing and Exteriors, your local, veteran-owned and operated exterior remodeling company. For your new roof, siding, window and door installation, or masonry work, you can count on Semper Fi to keep you safe, warm, and dry.
We keep you safe, warm, and dry, Semper Fi.
I believe it's time for me to fly.
All right, we are done for today, but we will be back to do it all again tomorrow.
Indeed. You check out the podcast if you missed anything. I would go if you missed our conversation we just had with David Krause, and you've been wondering, trying to understand meme coins and cryptocurrency. That was a really good explanation.
And you can get that either at WTMJ.com or wherever you get your podcasts. Wisconsin's Afternoon News is next.
See ya.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee. From the